So we spoke briefly about your wife, Eileen.
Right.
And so how did she participate in the running of the Bottom Line?
Eileen and I have, besides being married for 47 years and being together another 3 on top of it, so we've known each other for 50 years. She's got the greatest taste in music in my world of anybody I've come in contact with. She's got great ears. She's a musician. She plays piano and she plays guitar. So she listens differently than I do because I'm not a musician. I mean, we could both be listening to a record or a CD and I'll really love a particular song and she'll look at it and say, I love those chords. And I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, I know, but I don't know. So on many occasions, I'd always share with her, I'd always share with her my ideas of what I was thinking of, and I'd always love the feedback that she gave me. In fact, I will tell you 2 quick stories. I always programmed the Bottom Line. I always programmed it in terms of things that I would be interested in coming to see a show, like what would interest me. And you can't always be successful there because obviously you have to pay bills. But I come up with a lot of concepts and I think, this could be neat. And she was the one that actually influenced me to start booking a lot of country music. And the reason was that we were going through a period of time where I personally was getting bored with the stuff that I was booking myself. In other words, it wasn't speaking to me in the same way. But again, you still have to pay bills. And she was getting bored with what she was listening to on the radio. So she basically found country music and started to really get into country music. And so she started to share that with me. And this was, I guess, in the 80s. And I got very turned on. First of all, I love country writing. Like in terms of, I love the little stories and so I became very interested in country and then wanting to start to present country at the Bottom Line. That came from her. That came from just, and I will tell you one other story. I will tell you 2 stories, but these are very
what country artists performed at the Bottom Line? You mentioned Dolly Parton at one point.
Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton,
Waylon
Jennings,
Okay.
Chris Christopherson,
Delbert McClinton,
Lynn Anderson, Ronnie Millsap, Emmylou Harris. Tom T. Home, one of my favorites. George Jones. The 3rd time I booked him, first 2 we didn't show. George Jones. But the bonus was anybody who came got to see Bonnie Raitt and Linda Ronstadt get up on the stage and sing background with him.
Yeah.
So Marty Stewart, I love Marty Stewart. So I booked a lot of country artists that really came from her. Okay, so I came up with this idea one day, right around the Academy Awards, and the idea was to do a show and with songs that were never nominated for Academy Awards, that people might have thought won Academy Awards, and the show was called And the Winner Is. So I got really excited. I was at the club, I called her, I said, I need to share this idea with you. And it was around lunchtime, and I started talking to her, and I hear her say, Stacy, don't do that. Bonnie, stop that. We have 4 kids. Gordon, will you stop torturing your sisters? So she said, I know this is a bad time. This is a really bad time. Could you call me later? I said, fine. Call her later. I'm all excited to share this news. So listen, so I got this idea, the Academy, and then I hear her say, you got to do your homework now. Will you stop doing that? Turn off the TV. And she said, I can't talk. Let's talk later. Now I'm home. We're both in bed. This is
Kids are asleep, hopefully.
Kids are asleep. We're in bed. And I said, I need to share this idea with you. And she said, okay. So I said, all right, so here's the idea. We're going to do a show of songs that were written, and were nominated for Academy Awards and never won. And I said, I'm going to get David Amram. I'm going to get this big, lush orchestra. We're going to do great arrangements with it. And it's, I'm really excited. Maybe we'll show some film clips. Maybe we'll have a narrator of it. And I said, so what do you think? Pause. And she says, you didn't mention singers. I said, well, I wasn't thinking of singers. I was thinking of David Amram. And she said, you're going to do a show about songs that were nominated and you have no singers? And I said, well, I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of David Ammerman. And she said to me, you're going to lose your shirt. And she turns over and takes the covers with her. So now I'm lying there, sans covers, lying there. And she says, good night. And from that, I got Patti LuPone, Robert Kraft, and Ken Page to do an evening of songs called And the Winner Is. And that just came from that thing. And then the last thing I will tell you is that she's a bundle of ideas and energy. She sings, she plays guitar, she's very musical. Anytime I tell her about a show, she'd always say, well, I could do that. I could come down. And it was like Rookie and Lucy. No, Lucy, you can't come down to the club tonight. No. And we did the Downtown Messiah. And I came home, which was this big version of Handel's Messiah. And I came home and I said, I have a gift for you. And she said, what is that? And I said, you should be in the chorus of the, And she looked at me, she said, are you kidding? And I said, no, you should really do this. And she said, I'm not sure. And I said, what are you talking about you're not sure? Like, for 30 years you've been telling me you are. What are you talking about? And she said, I don't want it to be like people thinking the boss's wife, I'm singing. And I said, Eileen, you read music. You cite that you teach music. And I said, it's going to have nothing to do with me. I said, like, in 30 seconds, you're going to prove that it's got nothing to do with the boss. And she did it, and she said it was the best gift I ever gave her. And she did it for 7 years. So that's the story of Eileen in the Bottom Line.